Okay to come in? All right, let's do it.
I went to South Africa as part of my goal of running a marathon on every continent on the planet and interviewing entrepreneurs all over the world. People like Aisha Pandor. She grew up in Botswana, and I read on Wikipedia about how her family was exiled from South Africa after fighting for equality. I remember saying to her, "How do you live up to that kind of legacy?" She said she decided to start a company. Business has more power to help lives and impact the world than government. She started a company called Sweep South. It's a job site that enables people to get domestic work in homes in South Africa, and now it's expanding to other jobs. I was amazed that she helped 1,500 people get regular jobs. But I also felt like a failure in comparison, like I wasn't doing enough with my life to help people, to do something meaningful and big. You know, my absolute favorite part of South Africa was going through Langa Township. I loved being around people, so it was exciting for me to see so many people hanging out, eating, drinking, playing, cooking, talking.
He wants to try, huh?
Okay to come in? All right, let's do it.
You're good at this, huh?
I don't know how to stop. Okay.
Okay.
I do know how to stop.
But it also showed me something that I'd only read about before my trip to South Africa, about the huge wage gap problem, the high unemployment, and about how people were living in homes that were about the size of my bed here in San Francisco. Aisha's doing something to help them. But she corrected me. She didn't get 1,500 people jobs. She got over 15,000 people jobs, and that number is growing rapidly. Towards the end of the interview, though, I felt like something was up. And so I asked her about it. I said, "I'm getting a sense that you're not satisfied here, that you're not happy here, that you're not doing enough."
I think so. There's a lot. There's a lot more that I want to.
And finally, the energy changed in my conversation with her. I nailed something. She didn't feel like she was doing enough, like she was living up to her legacy. And that helped me realize something. That if someone who has just started out and is doing that much still feels like she's not doing enough, maybe this thing that I have in the back of my head that I'm not doing enough is not based on anything other than the fact that I'm an entrepreneur, and that there's some people who just naturally always feel like they're not doing enough. There's more they could do. You know, the way maybe lazy people always feel like they're tired, we always feel like there's more we want to get done. I felt like my run, by the way, was not enough. I went there to run 26.2 miles, but before that, my wife flew in and the two of us went on safari. We saw all kinds of animals. We enjoyed ourselves. We just had some quiet space from the world, and I decided right then and there that that is where I would run my marathon, right outside the reserve. I figured I'd be close to the animals, I'd get to see them, and I'd continue whatever good vibes I had from my vacation with my wife. So I got up early, and I went for it. It's 5:18 in South Africa. I'm standing right outside the gate of the wildlife preserve that I came to last night, or a couple of days ago. The marathon in Africa starts now. At first I felt great.
All right, about 5 miles in, I'm feeling good. The path looks great.
But after just a few miles, I was in pain.
Just hurts badly. Ugh.
That doesn't happen to me. My whole body ached, and I hadn't even gotten to 7 miles. I had about 20 more miles to go. It turns out I picked a running path that was just full of rocks and dust and sun, and it just wasn't pretty enough. It wasn't shady. It wasn't flat enough. It wasn't at all what I had in mind. And for a moment there, I really considered just bagging it and trying again for another part of Africa and another day. But I'm someone who likes to see things through. I don't know, instinctively, I just have to. So I kept going, and I kept suffering.
Hey, baby. Came to cheer me on. 1 more mile.
1 more mile.
1 more mile. You get to
Hi.
see me at the finish line.
All right. Mwah. Go get it, baby.
Thanks.
Way to go, you're almost done.
You know what? I'm gonna go that way.
Number 6.
I'm gonna finish it down that way.
Great.
Okay.
And I finished.
Let's see what the watch is saying. Okay, maybe. I think I've done it. Let's see. 26.2. I did it. Turn it off.
Stopping run.
And it felt great. I finished 6 marathons so far this year, and seeing them through, completing them, is what makes me feel great. And that's what I take away from the experience. Not the view, not the sights, not the shade, not the sun. It's regardless, I feel great seeing it through.
Torture is done. Oh,
You did it.
yeah. Oh, we ended.
I need to keep remembering that too at work. There's always going to be something more that I feel like I could be doing, something better, but I have to see it through and recognize that that voice of you have to do more is just part of being human, or part of being a human entrepreneur maybe. Aisha still feels it. I still feel it. And I felt it on that run. But powering through and finishing is what made me feel excited. And now looking back on it, I feel proud. Maybe even a little prouder because I got through it despite the pain.
Wow.
Okay.
You did it.
All right, I got one more marathon to go this year. Antarctica is next. Maybe by the time you're watching this, I'll be on a plane, some kind of Soviet plane, heading into Antarctica to run my marathon there.